Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with yet another brew review, and today starts with a sort of a funny story. Well, funny because the joke's on me. Not too long ago, the first rays of sunshine, I went to the city with a couple of friends, and we sat down at Patersvatje, which is a bar right underneath the cathedral, and they have like 114 beers in stock or something like that. Lovely old bar, dates back to 1982 I think, and hasn't changed a bit. Very cozy, and we were on the terrace, and next to us at the table came the horror of every Antwerpian. No, I'm just kidding, of course, but we had Dutch tourists. And this man of this couple ordered a Leffe Tripel, which was not on the menu, by the way. So we turned around and we thought, Leffe Tripel? Because here in Belgium, we don't know Leffe Tripel. And we were convinced that Leffe doesn't make a triple. And that is exactly what the barmaid told this man. Sir, Leffe doesn't make a triple, but we do have a wonderful selection of triples. We might recommend you something. We did recommend him something. We gave him a Gouden Carolus triple from Het Anker in Mechelen. Lovely beer, fantastic triple. And we thought that the story would end there. And we jokingly said, our Dutch beer expert asking for a Leffe Tripel, something doesn't exist. A few weeks later, I went to Tilburg in the Netherlands, and I visited a local supermarket just to get me a refreshment, and I saw this goddamn Leffe Tripel. So it does exist. It's just not sold here in Belgium, or not very often, so we didn't know about this. So for me, this was the absolute perfect moment to try this out. Why does this stand out? Because we often call Leffe dead beer, which is, it has many nicknames: dead beer, sugar water, but the bottom line is it's not necessarily that bad. It's like Heineken, we keep laughing at it, but it's not necessarily that bad. But it is a pasteurized beer, and the Leffe Tripel is not. This is re-fermented in the bottle. This is a blonde 8.5% ABV, and I have to cheat on the bottle here, but it does say water, malted barley, sugar, herbs, orange peel, coriander seed, and hops. That is basically the recipe of a classic Belgian triple. It's just not sold in Belgium. Also, this reminds me a lot of La Chouffe when it comes to ingredients, but of course we can say this about a lot of beers, because this might be like the Triple Minerva by Antwerp Brewing Company as well, if I read this recipe. So how about we dive right in, because I've been waiting to taste this for quite a while. And this is also a beautiful occasion to bring out my Leffe glass, or actually I have a bunch of these, which is silly because I basically never drink Leffe, but they are pretty nice glasses, also very heavy. And this shape, it's great to warm up your beer if necessary. This has a colder drinking temperature, so that won't be necessary. It is very sturdy, and also this shape keeps aroma inside. So typical Leffe branded bottle cap. Now this is an official Abbey beer, by the way. So not a Trappist, it's not brewed by monks. This is AB InBev, and they just bought the rights to the old Leffe brewery. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a old monastery that is repurposed into a kind of a museum in Dinan that is dedicated to Leffe, Abbé du Leffe. But it was so freaking expensive that I just didn't go through all the trouble. First things first, a beautiful golden blonde and quite a lot of yeast residue in there, tiny specks, so that sounds all right. A bit of bubbling going on, a nice veil of yeast as well. And not a lot of foam, but we do have some off-white, yellowish, beigeish foam. No remarks so far. A bit of carbon dioxide, a lot of coriander, a bit hoppy, even a bit dry. And you have to understand that I'm very, very biased because I know Leffe as a very sweet beer. I do get a hint of caramel in there. Let's see what it gives. Cheers! First impression, a bit flat, not heavily carbonated, and also in flavor, maybe a bit flat, a bit generic. It is relatively dry, it is quite hoppy, and it does have quite a lot of coriander. I also get a bit of that orange peel, that curacao that we normally like and love. A bit in the aroma, a bit less in the flavor. But I do feel like AB InBev wanted to go overboard with the coriander, with the herbs, with a bit of the hops. There is no balance whatsoever in this beer. Is it bad? No. Is it good? Also no. I am convinced that this will cater to an audience. And whether that is beginner tasters or general public or any other beer lover that actually does like this, des goûts et des couleurs on ne discute pas. But for me, this is not it. I also get a very, very ever so tiny hint of diacetyl. And that will be that combination of caramel, butter. So I think this is too good to pour down the drain, but not good enough to buy again. And I do not want to insult the Dutch public, because the Netherlands does have a fantastic beer scene, and we'll see a lot more Dutch beer on this channel in the coming weeks, I promise you that. But on the other hand, I do know that there is a part of the Dutch public that is into generic and not that great beers. And oftentimes that large public, by the way, also in Belgium, just a smaller group, but that public relies on generic beers that are often quite sweet and cater to everyone. And I feel like this is something that AB InBev did with this beer. And that will also explain why it's not, or almost not, sold in Belgium. Okay, that all being said, I shall score this 2.75. Yeah, because I would never order a second one of these, and even from the supermarket. And I think for 8.5%, there are so many beers that we can get at 8.5, 9-ish% that are decent, that are high quality, that are flavorful, that are interesting. And this is actually none of that. So let's not. I am very glad that I tried it. I am not eager to do so again. But hey, we learned something. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a comment down below. If you want to tell me something, ask me something, comment section is the place to be. If you want to get in touch, my credentials are in the description. If you want to support this channel, share a video, leave a comment, buy me a beer, visit the Patreon page. And if you want to see more, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever I upload something. And that would be, yeah, whenever I feel like it. So until the next video, cheers.